The idea that we're going to gouge students. And again, to use you, Daniel, as an example, I mean, the more you have to pay in interest for your student loans, that is less money that you get to spend in the economy on, whether it's food or beer or furniture for your little apartment or whatever it is, all the sorts of things that would circulate through the economy. Instead, it's more money that is going simply to that's going out of the economy because you're having to squeeze and tighten your belt even more. And it's like that with students all over the nation. And to your point about over $1 trillion in student debt, I mean, imagine if instead of, students having to tighten their belts to the tune of $1 trillion, imagine if students in particular were able to spend that money. Most of them would spend the money here in the United States because they're not a sort of class demographic group that tends to travel overseas. They don't tend to spend money on extravagant things. They spend it on the necessities, like food and rent and shelter and sort of the basics. And if you can put that $1 trillion in the economy, that helps in a huge way. And it just, again, it gets to, we've gotten so much, when I sent out a tweet about this earlier this week, the reaction was there was just like a firestorm, that people out there were just shocked and were saying, wait a second, you're telling me that Congress is going to have students pay 9 times as much the interest rate as the banks have to pay? And that this is essentially going to be a way for the government to pay down its debts by collecting this money from students, and instead of reinvesting this money in education, Republicans want to put this towards paying down the debt? That's how we're going to balance the debt? That's how we're going to pay down the debt? That's crazy. What has happened to the priorities in our country? And as you point out, Daniel Mance, there have been no prosecutions of the banks. There have been no prosecutions of the financial institutions that brought our economy to its knees just 4 years ago. Instead, we continue to shower the banks and financial institutions with all sorts of favors. We treat them so much better than we treat other people. And the idea that we would treat them 9 times better than we treat students who have borrowed money for their college education, it's outrageous. And folks, this is one of these issues where, again, if you are angry about this, if you're as angry as I am, and I'm pretty damn angry about this, we all need to do something. We have to take action. We have to call a member of Congress. We have to write to them. We have to use the pop box widget, and we have to make this an issue. And we've got to spread the word that there is some legislation out there that might do something about it, the legislation that Senator Warren has put forward. But right now, the Senate's not even scheduled any hearings or any vote on this. And by July 1st, less than 2 months, if nothing is done, student loan rates will go up to 6.8%. It's ridiculous. It's an outrage. And we cannot allow this to happen. This is not the America that I know. We'll continue with Take Action News on the other side of this break right here on the We Act Radio Network.